Ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I want to talk to you tonight about a secret that has been hidden in plain sight. A secret so simple, yet so powerful, that when you speak it with conviction, doors will open, opportunities will appear, and money will be drawn to you as surely as a magnet draws iron. Life moves by the words we speak, for every word is a seed, every thought is a command, and every sentence is a decree to the universe. The world is not ruled by chance, but by law, the law of faith, the law of expectancy, the law of attraction. And when you align your words with divine supply, you become a channel through which prosperity must flow. Words are seeds, and the moment they are spoken, they begin their journey into the unseen, drawing to themselves everything of like nature. A farmer does not cast a seed into the soil and wonder if it will become what it was created to be. He knows with certainty that an apple seed will not bring forth thorns, nor will a rose seed bring forth weeds. In the same way, the words you speak are not idle or wasted. They are living seeds planted into the fertile ground of your own subconscious mind, and from there they reach into the infinite and call forth their harvest. Every time you speak, you are setting in motion laws that cannot fail, laws that are exact and unchangeable. When words are charged with faith, they become decrees that shape the very fabric of your experience. Many people think lightly of their words, joking carelessly about lack, sickness, or failure, never realizing that the soil of life makes no distinction. It will grow whatever is planted. If a person constantly says, "I can't afford this," they are planting seeds of limitation, and soon their life mirrors those very words. But if someone says, "I am open to divine supply, I am prospered in all my ways," those words act as a command, and unseen forces begin to rearrange circumstances, opportunities, and people to fulfill that decree. The world you see today is nothing more than the harvest of yesterday's words. Every success, every failure, every blessing, and every obstacle has its roots in something spoken in the past, consciously or unconsciously. To change your future, you must change your words today, because your words are the blueprint upon which your destiny is built. The great spiritual truth is that words spoken with faith are creative power, and faith is the rich soil that guarantees their growth. A careless word is like scattering seed upon rocky ground. Nothing comes of it, but a word spoken with belief, spoken with vision, spoken with the fire of expectancy, is like planting in well-watered soil under the shining sun. It cannot fail to grow, and it cannot fail to bear fruit. Life and death are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it, who understand it, will eat the fruit of it. Your words are the bridge between the unseen and the seen. What you speak into the silence is gathered by the law and delivered back to you in form. Say, "I am rich in ideas," and soon ideas will begin to flow. Say, "I am divinely guided," and circumstances will conspire to lead you into right places at the right time. Say, "Money comes to me in expected and unexpected ways," and before long, you will have stories of surprise blessings, new sources of income, and opportunities you could not have imagined. This is not chance, it is law. Words impregnated with faith summon the invisible substance of supply and shape it into visible manifestation. Every master teacher has declared the creative power of the word. The universe was spoken into existence, not thought into existence, but spoken. The spoken word is vibration, and vibration organizes energy. When you say, "I am wealthy, I am blessed, I am abundant," you are not describing something far away. You are commanding it into the now, vibrating with the frequency that draws its likeness to you. The more you affirm it, the stronger the vibration, until what was unseen becomes seen, and what was only a possibility becomes your daily reality. People often wonder why some prayers are answered and others seem to fall empty. The difference is not in the words themselves, but in the faith and conviction behind them. A hollow repetition of "I am rich" will not move mountains, but the burning conviction that divine substance is flowing through you now, that money is magnetized to you now, and that you are aligned with infinite supply now, those words carry power. They become alive, charged, electric, filled with authority. The universe responds not to idle chatter, but to the decree of one who knows that their word is law. You must, therefore, guard your tongue as you would guard a treasure chest. Let no words of fear or doubt escape your lips, for every utterance is a seed that must grow. Speak only that which you desire to see, and refuse to give life to lack by naming it. Even in the face of appearances, declare what you know to be true in spirit, for spirit is the only true reality, and the physical must eventually conform. Just as surely as the farmer waits for his harvest with confidence, knowing that the invisible growth is already underway beneath the soil, so must you wait with faith, never doubting, never digging up your seed with words of fear, but continuing to water it with affirmation and gratitude. Money is not something to be chased, for the act of chasing implies distance, lack, and pursuit. Whatever you chase runs from you, but whatever you magnetize must come to you by law. The vibration of your spoken word is the force that sets this magnetism into motion. Words are more than sounds, they carry energy, they carry frequency, and that frequency determines what you draw into your life. When you speak words of poverty, you lower your vibration, and money feels repelled from your presence. But when you speak words of abundance, gratitude, and expectancy, you rise into harmony with the vibration of wealth, and money cannot help but move in your direction. The world is not governed by chance, it is governed by vibration, and your vibration is determined by what you continually affirm with your lips. When someone declares, "I never have enough," their vibration signals lack, and opportunities pass them by. When another person declares, "I am always provided for, and money flows to me easily," their vibration radiates confidence and expectancy, and money finds its way to them through channels, both seen and unseen. The magnetic power of words does not discriminate, it responds equally to fear or to faith, to lack or to abundance, to despair or to gratitude. Money is energy, and energy seeks resonance. It moves toward those who match its frequency. This is why two people can work side by side, doing the same labor, yet one seems constantly in struggle, while the other is lifted into unexpected prosperity. The difference is invisible yet undeniable. It is the vibration of the words they speak, the inner decree they give to life. One lives in complaint, reinforcing barriers with every negative word. The other lives in praise, speaking blessings, and opening unseen doors with every affirmation of good. The spoken word sets the tone of your vibration, and your vibration sets the tone of your experience. You need not run after money as though it were a fugitive. Money has no will of its own, it obeys law, and the law is simple like attracts like. If you are vibrating lack, lack is attracted. If you are vibrating abundance, abundance is attracted. You magnetize by speaking what you desire as though it were already yours. Speak, "I am prosperous, I am richly supplied. I am a magnet for money," and these words begin to alter your vibration. They create a field around you, and into this field money must enter, opportunities must enter, provision must enter. The more consistent your spoken word, the stronger your magnetic pull becomes. Think of a magnet. It does not strain, it does not chase, it simply holds its power, and iron comes to it without effort. In the same way, your spoken words of abundance turn you into a living magnet. People will call you with offers. Situations will align to your favor. Money will seem to come from unexpected places, and you will say, "I did nothing but speak, and yet everything changed." That is because you ceased chasing and began magnetizing. The moment you speak with authority, your words vibrate out into the universe, rearranging conditions and drawing to you what belongs to you by divine right. Even scripture and ancient teachings confirm this truth. The tongue directs the course of life, as surely as a rudder directs a ship. If your words are filled with doubt, fear, and worry, your ship will drift toward stormy seas. But if your words are filled with faith, gratitude, and bold declarations of supply, your ship will be guided safely to harbors of abundance. The words you speak daily are the silent decree that determines whether money runs from you or rushes toward you. To chase is to admit separation, but to speak with conviction is to claim unity with the source of all wealth. Every time you affirm your abundance, you are aligning with a vibration higher than fear. You are rising above struggle and stepping into harmony with supply. And once you are in harmony, nothing can prevent money from flowing to you. You will notice coincidences, synchronicities, and timely blessings. You will find yourself in the right place at the right time, meeting the right person, hearing the right idea. All of this is the outworking of your vibration, and your vibration is the direct result of the words you continually speak. The sentence you speak is not mere sound, it is a spiritual command to infinite supply. Every time a word leaves your lips with intention and conviction, it carries the authority of a decree. The universe does not hear idle chatter, it hears commands, and it responds to them according to the spirit with which they are spoken. This is why the same sentence, when spoken with doubt, remains lifeless, but when spoken with faith, becomes charged with creative power. Words are not empty. They are containers for energy, and the energy you pour into them determines what they must produce. When you say, "I am rich," you are not describing a current condition, you are issuing a command to infinite supply to reveal richness in your life. When you say, "Money flows to me," you are not merely hoping. It is as though you are speaking into a vast treasury of abundance, unlocking its doors with your decree. The spiritual law is unbending. What you speak with authority and believe with certainty must manifest. Infinite supply is limitless, waiting to be directed, and your words are the key that gives it form. Most people live as if their words have no power. They complain about bills, they joke about being broke, they continually declare what they do not want. Every one of these statements is a command, but it is a command for more lack, more struggle, more limitation. The spiritual law makes no exceptions, it simply fulfills the decree, whether spoken wisely or foolishly. The great secret is to recognize that your spoken sentence is a spiritual order placed with the storehouse of the universe. As surely as one places an order in a shop and expects to receive it, so too must you place your order with faith and know it is already fulfilled. This is why affirmations are so much more than positive thinking. They are living decrees, vibrational commands to infinite intelligence. When you affirm, "I am divinely supplied, I am a magnet for prosperity," those words set forces in motion. Opportunities begin to move in your direction, circumstances adjust, and people appear who carry your blessing. The unseen responds first, and then the seen must follow. To the doubter, this seems like magic, but to the one who understands the law, it is the natural outworking of spiritual order. You may not see the result at once, but the decree is already working. Just as a seed planted in the soil begins to grow before it ever breaks the surface, your spoken words are working in the invisible long before you see evidence. The key is to speak the sentence as though it were already accomplished, not with longing, but with certainty. Infinite supply does not respond to begging or pleading, it responds to command, spoken with authority, and backed by unwavering faith. When a child of the King speaks, the universe must obey, because the universe was created to respond to the spoken word. Think of a general giving a command to his soldiers. He does not beg them, he does not hope they will move. He issues the command and knows it will be carried out. That is how you must speak to infinite supply. When you declare, "I am abundantly provided for," you are issuing an order to the invisible forces of prosperity to align and deliver. The strength of your conviction is the measure of your authority. If you speak with hesitation, the command is weak, but if you speak with certainty, mountains move and barriers dissolve. The spoken sentence also has the power to cancel out negative decrees of the past. You may have spent years saying, "I never have enough," and those words have built walls around your prosperity. But one sentence, spoken consistently with faith, can tear down those walls and establish a new reality. "I am rich in every area of my life, money flows to me now," spoken daily, becomes a new spiritual command that overrides old patterns. Infinite supply does not hold grudges, it responds to the most recent command. So you need only begin speaking anew to change the course of your life. Your words do not need to be long or complicated. A single sentence, spoken with conviction, can change everything. I am divinely supplied is enough to call forth money, opportunities, and resources. Everything I touch prospers is enough to set in motion a chain of events that bless every endeavor. The power lies not in the length of the sentence, but in the authority with which it is spoken. The simplest sentence, spoken with faith, carries more creative power than the most elaborate statement spoken with doubt. When you realize that every word is a command to infinite supply, you begin to watch your tongue with new reverence. You no longer speak lightly of poverty or limitation, because you know such words are orders you do not wish to receive. Instead, you speak only what you want to see, commanding prosperity, commanding success, commanding open doors. Each sentence becomes a tool of creation, and with it you shape the life you desire. Fear blocks the flow, but fearless affirmation opens the gates of abundance. Fear is a vibration that shuts doors. It is the signal of doubt that tells the universe, I do not believe in my supply. Fear acts like a wall that prevents the river of prosperity from reaching you, and as long as you hold it, money feels withheld, opportunities feel delayed, and blessings seem distant. Fear speaks in whispers of worry. What if the money doesn't come? What if the bills cannot be paid? What if I lose what I already have? These words are also affirmations, but affirmations of lack, affirmations of limitation, affirmations that command shortage. Whatever is feared is drawn nearer, because the energy of fear is magnetic in the same way as faith is magnetic. The remedy to fear is fearless affirmation, a conscious choice to speak against appearances, to declare abundance when lack seems loud, to affirm prosperity when your pockets feel empty. Fearless affirmation cuts through the noise of doubt and establishes a higher vibration. It is the deliberate act of taking control of your words, and by doing so, taking control of your vibration. When you say, I am supplied, I am abundant, I am fearless, you push back against the shadow of fear. Each fearless affirmation is like striking a match in the darkness. Light appears, and the darkness loses its power. Fear often disguises itself as caution, as logic, as practicality, but beneath its mask it is always the same, unbelief in divine supply. Fear says, be careful, you might not have enough. But fearless affirmation says, I live in an abundant universe, and my supply is endless. Fear says, what if you fail? But fearless affirmation says, everything I do prospers and succeeds. Fear says, there is not enough to go around. But fearless affirmation says, there is more than enough, and my share is secure. Each time you choose the fearless affirmation, you weaken the grip of fear, until fear no longer rules your speech, and without its influence, the flow of money is restored. Fear is imagination used against oneself, while affirmation is imagination aligned with truth. Both use the same creative power, but fear twists it into pictures of lack, while affirmation channels it into visions of abundance. When you give energy to fear, you are affirming the very thing you dread. But when you affirm fearlessly, you are planting seeds of prosperity that must grow. The law does not distinguish between the positive or negative. It simply fulfills what is spoken with conviction. This is why fearless affirmation is so vital, for it is the only way to keep the gates of abundance open, regardless of appearances. Many people wait for fear to leave before they begin to affirm. But the truth is that affirmation is the cure for fear. You do not wait for courage to speak the words, you speak the words, and courage comes. Fear may whisper that your words are empty, that nothing is happening, that you are deceiving yourself, but every time you persist with fearless affirmation, you are breaking the spell of fear and training your subconscious to align with abundance. Eventually, fear loses its voice, and only faith remains. Imagine fear as a cloud that covers the sun. The sun is your supply, constant and unchanging, but the cloud of fear obscures it. Affirmation is the wind that clears the cloud, revealing that the light was always there. The more you affirm, the more consistently you speak abundance, the less power the clouds of fear have to linger. Soon your sky is clear, and prosperity shines on every area of your life. Fear had no power of its own. It only borrowed power from your belief. Once you withdrew that belief and replaced it with affirmation, it dissolved like mist in the morning sun. Fearless affirmation is not pretending. It is not denial of facts. It is declaring truth in the face of appearances. The fact may be that you have little in your wallet, but the truth is that infinite supply is always flowing, and money is on its way. The fact may be that bills are due, but the truth is that provision is already lined up for you. When you affirm the truth fearlessly, the facts begin to change, for facts are temporary, but truth is eternal. The fearless affirmation anchors you to the eternal, and from there, you watch the temporary conditions shift in your favor. Every great breakthrough requires the crossing of fear. Those who shrink back and let fear rule their words remain trapped in cycles of lack. Those who dare to affirm fearlessly, to speak abundance even when appearances seem impossible, become magnetic to miracles. It is not boldness in themselves, but boldness in the divine law that never fails. The fearless affirmation is a declaration that you trust the unseen more than the seen, the eternal more than the temporary, the truth more than the fact. Prosperity is not outside of you. It is released through your consciousness. The common belief is that abundance comes from the world, from jobs, investments, or opportunities, and while these may serve as channels, they are not the source. The true source of all prosperity is within, for consciousness creates form, and what is held in the inner world inevitably manifests in the outer. If the mind is filled with lack, even great sums of money will slip away, for the inner pattern cannot hold them. But if the mind is trained to see supply everywhere, then even small beginnings grow into greater wealth, because consciousness expands to match abundance. Every man and woman lives in a universe of their own consciousness. Two people may walk through the same city, one seeing only limitation, scarcity, and struggle, while another sees opportunity, provision, and blessings on every corner. The difference is not in the city, but in the consciousness of the one who beholds it. Prosperity flows to the one whose mind is prepared, whose inner life vibrates with expectancy and gratitude. It is not about what is happening outside, but about what has been established within. When you affirm prosperity, you are not attempting to call something from far away. You are awakening what already exists within you. The divine within holds infinite supply, and your words, your beliefs, your visions are what open the door to let it flow outward. You are like a fountain, not a bucket. A bucket depends on being filled from the outside, but a fountain flows from within, endlessly, as long as the source remains open. Consciousness is that source, and when it is aligned with abundance, prosperity overflows in every area of life. Many people struggle because they have reversed the order. They look at conditions and let those conditions determine their state of mind. If there is little money, they speak lack, feel fear, and confirm poverty with their words. But the law works in the opposite direction. It is the inner consciousness that must shift first, and then the outer will follow. When one says, "I live in abundance, I am divinely supplied," even when the wallet is empty, they are planting seeds of prosperity within consciousness. Soon those seeds grow roots, and life begins to reorganize itself to match the new vibration. Opportunities come, ideas flow, people assist, money appears. The outer world has no choice but to reflect the inner decree. Prosperity consciousness is not just about money, it is about the awareness of supply in all things. It is knowing that health, creativity, love, and joy are always available, that the universe is overflowing with good, and that you have a rightful share in it. When you walk in this consciousness, you stop begging life for scraps and begin claiming your inheritance as a child of the infinite. Poverty consciousness makes a person believe they must struggle, compete, and fight for what little there is. Prosperity consciousness knows there is always enough, and because of this belief, life unfolds with ease and generosity. One who has prosperity consciousness can lose material wealth and yet regain it quickly, for the consciousness remains intact. Another may gain sudden wealth without prosperity consciousness, and soon it vanishes, for they lacked the inner pattern to sustain it. True riches are not what you hold in your hand, but what you hold in your mind and heart, because the mind and heart are the mold into which the substance of life must pour itself. Prosperity is not gathered, it is expressed, and its expression begins with thought, expands with word, and manifests in form. Developing prosperity consciousness requires discipline of thought and speech. It is refusing to dwell on limitation, even when appearances tempt you. It is speaking abundance into every circumstance, knowing that words shape consciousness, and consciousness shapes reality. It is practicing gratitude for what you already have, for gratitude multiplies the flow. When you give thanks for small supply, you enlarge the channel for greater supply. When you complain about little, you contract the channel, and even what you have begins to shrink. Gratitude is the language of prosperity consciousness, while complaint is the voice of poverty consciousness. Prosperity consciousness also means holding a vision greater than your present condition. It is daring to imagine wealth, freedom, generosity, and success, not as far-off dreams, but as present realities taking shape. Vision fuels faith, and faith fuels manifestation. To see yourself as abundant is to invite abundance into form. Every great fortune began as a vision held firmly in consciousness, spoken into existence, and affirmed until it took shape. The shift from poverty to prosperity begins the moment you understand that nothing outside has power over you, and that the source of your wealth has always been within. The bank is not your source. Your employer is not your source. The economy is not your source. These are only channels, and if one closes, another opens, for the fountain within can never run dry. When you stop depending on outer things and start depending on the infinite supply within, you become unshakable. You no longer fear loss, because you know you carry the source within you, and as long as your consciousness is abundant, you can never be without. Speak with authority, expect with certainty, and money will seek you. Authority is the tone of one who knows, not one who wishes. When you speak with authority, your words carry weight, they move past the surface of sound and strike the invisible substance of the universe with command. Authority is the difference between "I hope" and "I declare." It is the difference between a weak echo and a ringing decree. The universe responds to authority because authority springs from faith, and faith is the law that governs manifestation. When you speak timidly, the vibration is weak and it carries no power. When you speak with authority, you announce to infinite supply that you know who you are, and you know what is yours by divine right. Expectation is the magnet that pulls the decree into form. To expect is to prepare inwardly for the arrival of what you have spoken. It is not enough to say the words, you must wait as one waits for a sure guest, knowing they will appear at the appointed hour. If you declare prosperity but still live in doubt, you block the flow. But if you declare prosperity and then expect it with certainty, you open the path wide for it to come rushing toward you. Expectation is invisible preparation, and the universe always fills prepared places. When you expect with certainty, you begin to carry yourself differently. You make choices in alignment with abundance, and you vibrate with confidence. Money seeks those who call it with authority and expectation. It moves as if drawn by a cord toward those who speak with certainty. You do not run after it, you do not plead for it, you simply speak, expect, and watch as it finds you. Money has no will of its own. It follows law, and the law is that vibration attracts its likeness. When you vibrate with authority, when you vibrate with certainty, you become a signal for prosperity, and prosperity must answer that signal. Those who complain that money is elusive are those who speak without authority and expect without faith. Those who testify that money finds them are those who speak as masters of their word and expect as heirs of divine abundance. The power of authority in speech is seen everywhere in life. A parent speaks with authority, and the child obeys. A commander speaks with authority, and the soldiers move. Authority comes from knowing the right to command. You have the right to command abundance because you are one with the source of all supply. To speak timidly of money, as if it were separate from you, is to forget your inheritance. But to speak with authority, as one who knows supply is within, is to call money home. It is not arrogance, it is truth. The child of the king does not beg for bread, he declares his place at the table. So too must you declare your right to prosperity, not as a beggar, but as an heir. Expectation must be unwavering, for hesitation weakens the current. To expect with certainty is to remove all back doors, to burn the bridges of doubt, and to stand firm knowing that what you have spoken will come to pass. The farmer expects the harvest because he has sown the seed. He does not question every day whether the soil will do its work. He trusts the unseen process and prepares his barns for the increase. Likewise, when you speak with authority, you have sown the seed, and when you expect with certainty, you are preparing the barn. You are aligning your actions with your decree, making ready for the abundance that is already on its way. Money seeks those who are ready. If you declare wealth but still see yourself as poor, your expectation is divided, and the flow cannot reach you. But when your inner vision matches your spoken decree, when you expect to receive as surely as you expect the sun to rise, money has no choice but to come. You begin to notice it showing up in unexpected ways. An opportunity, a gift, a new idea, a chance meeting. This is not luck, it is law. Authority set the word in motion, expectation magnetized it, and money followed the signal. When you speak with authority, you do not apologize for your words. You do not shrink back or soften them to please others. You declare boldly, knowing the universe does not mock you but honors the decree. When you expect with certainty, you do not wait nervously, you wait joyfully, because you know the outcome is secure. Faith speaks, and faith expects. These two together form the irresistible force that draws supply. Authority without expectation is incomplete, for words without faith are powerless. Expectation without authority is weak, for hope without command is easily broken. But when authority and expectation meet, the law is fulfilled, and prosperity comes as surely as water flows downhill.